as an independent brand, so we look for novelties every year. So then I wanted to select one which is not typical for what we do. So what part of them is these big chronographs, we are making, which is another point. I mean, we have a lot of success with the Silverstone line that is inspired by the car racing. But today I wanted to introduce you something that links Graham to our roots, to George Graham himself. So this watch here is a tourbillon. We wanted this tourbillon also to be automatic. And if you allow me to tell you a short story, because it's the beauty of it. So we have to know that Mr. George Graham was a close friend from the astronomer Mr. Halley, the one that predicted the comet return. And the astronomer Halley was a good friend of Isaac Newton. So Isaac Newton then agreed Mr. Graham to be accepted within the Royal Society as a fellow, as a member. So then these three gentlemen sat together at once. This is already freezing, unbelievable. I mean, that George Graham was sitting at the same table talking about scientific things with the guys like Halley and with the guys like Newton. But Newton also, had a talk at once with Halley. Halley was controlling the Kepler's law. I mean, the laws that were found predicted a little bit the elliptical movements on the planets around the Earth. And so then he could, by the instruments of Graham, prove these laws, but could not explain them. So then, thanks to Graham's instruments, clocks, very precise clocks, plus quadrants, they were able to measure things such a way they could prove Kepler's law. But they could not demonstrate them. They did not know exactly what was the driver, what was the explanation behind that. And so then Mr. Halley explained this to Mr. Newton. And Mr. Newton, that was just ending up with a new microscope publication, said that's something that is interesting. 4 years later, the Principia happened. The Principia is the book where we first ever see something talking about gravitational forces. So this kind of history, this is inspiring me a lot. So then, why did we do so a tourbillon? Because the tourbillon is even invented later on. But the tourbillon is a device that is trying to reduce the effect of gravitational forces on the escapement itself. So that meaning reducing the precision of the movement. But in the same time, while we try to fight against gravitational forces here, on the same time we made a micro-rotor on the back to use the gravitational forces to wind up the movements. That was my idea behind the product. So this product then is fighting and using gravitational forces. And this is the beauty of the demonstration. That's why I like very much this kind of approach. Then we wanted also to have it very slim. So, the watch has a curved dial. While curved dial allowed me to go a little bit deeper than in the case. And on the back, we made a double sapphire system because we needed some more space for the rotor, for the micro-rotor. So the watch, because of this construction, was below 10 millimeters thickness. I also wanted the watch to be slim and agreeable to wear, because I believe this is part of the elegance we want to defend at Graham. So it's a 1 minute tourbillon, so with double bridge, so then upwards and backwards you have a bridge. This is a 72 hours power reserve, so we choose a very long power reserve, even though it's automatic, but it's more for practical reasons, because then you have a much longer spring system, and so then you have a much more precision for the first 48 hours. So then we wanted to have at least 2 days highly precise, and then the third day it's working, but you start losing a bit of precision. And the rotor, as you can see, has been placed at 12 o'clock. So that has been also, some big discussions, because the first rotor we wanted to do was a big one. And then it was not nice. So then I sent my engineers back to their work, and I said, listen, gentlemen, I want to have a micro rotor. I say, well, that's easy to say, Eric, but why? I say, listen, this is a balance, because I believe the balance from the top of a watch is important, but people also turn the watch. We talk about complicated stuff, so then people will have to spend some money to get it. So by that, they will see that we have put as much effort on the back, on the system, on the device, on the decoration, than we put on the top of the watch. I believe this is a way that you can have a success.